Yeah, it's a handful. So I can relate to Andy on multiple fronts as far as building a great Division II basketball program, having 3 little girls, and
who was the biggest influence on you growing up?
I would say my dad, for sure. I had some wonderful coaches. I had the opportunity to work for a Hall of Fame basketball coach in Bob Hoffman for 11 years, 475 Division II wins for Coach Hoffman. So was able to truly get a master's degree in Division II basketball and how to run a program, things you need to do community-wise, and the players you're going to need to have to win big.
But you know, your dad wasn't a coach; he was an entrepreneur, right? You know, in the restaurant business. What made you decide to go into coaching
and get involved in it and want to get good at it, I guess. But it's hard. You know, the games are a hard thing to give up. So whether you're playing t-ball at the park up the street, or you're the head basketball coach at Ferris State, it's still about the games. I remember as a youngster, I was playing t-ball, grew up playing all the sports, but like I would go home right after school and put your jersey on and you're just waiting for your ball game at night. And the little boy in me has never left. You know, I still look forward to the games, still get nervous, still get excited. So as we age, 44 now, but I still think back to the 6-year-old getting his little t-ball jersey on, ready to go. So
it happened fast, didn't it?
Happens real quick. So excited about the opportunity, excited about what could be, and excited to show everybody what who I am, right, and what I'm about and what I'll bring to Bulldog basketball.
Now, you have ever visited Michigan before, let alone Big Rapids?
Nope.
Never have been.
I'd never been to Michigan. The first day I was in here was on my interview. I had a chance to get in early. Went on about a 2-hour walk, just myself of the campus, and really immediately, it almost like if you were going house hunting. When you walk into a house, you either say, hey, this is either for me or it's not for me. Mm-hmm. I quickly walked and said, hey, this would be for me.
Yeah.
So I felt very comfortable, and here I am.
Have you been around town much at all since you've been here? I know you've been a busy man. I'm not putting but have you toured Big Rapids a little bit?
I feel very comfortable, know where I'm going. Been all over, walking downtown or all around, house hunting. So at the house hunting, notable that it was somewhere. So wanted to pick a place that was safe. Got a great sheriff over there.
Yeah, we do.
But wanted to pick a place that was safe, a place that I could feel my children. No.
Oh, she hasn't.
No, but I'm not married.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. That's okay.
Well, I'm not sorry, but I just
should have
asked you that before the game there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good.
But a great place to raise your kids.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, one of the reasons why that I do the job that I do is because I want my boys to be raised in a safe community, and I, think we have one here. And I think that's a draw for a lot of people to our community.
Mm-hmm. Brian's wife's a realtor too, Heather.
Yeah. I was going to go there, but I knew you would.
Yeah. No, she's a great girl. We do have you're going to love this town all the way from Doc Gunther. We talked to him and making a big mistake 4 years ago, I guess it was, running for mayor. And it was a landslide victory because Doc Gunther is liked by everybody but me. And I still love him, though. But anyway, we have a great community. We have a great county commission right now. We have just a lot of good people are stepping up to the plate. We've had some adversity, and we've worked through it. We've got a great sheriff. He was overall, 4-1 pick, and that's saying quite a bit about Brian because of the fact that he ran against a pretty good opponent that, been around for a while. That being said, I think that you're going to have a good following. If I suggest anything to you at all is do get involved with the community. Try to move into Big Rapids. The city of Big Rapids has a lot of wonderful parks. We've utilized them, and we've got a new splash pad. And we do have disputes once in a while in Big Rapids. You'll hear something bad about me. Well, don't believe it. I'm not all that bad.
Okay.
But more importantly, just you seem like a great guy.
Thank you.
Get to know the community. That's all I can say is get to know the community, and they'll come and watch your ball players play. That being said, did you recruit any new ones yet?
Yeah, so there will be 9 new Bulldogs coming two young men from Muskegon that Coach Brockema had committed, and what a great school we have. So,
now, did you bring any of your players from?
Nope.
How about coaches?
Nope. Didn't bring anybody with. It's pretty far.
You're the man. You're the man.
I'm the guy. So, no.
Are any of the assistants for Andy still
nope,
here?
they all went with Andy, and
Okay.
we are. We'll be hopefully announcing a new assistant coach, either by the end of the week or the beginning of next week.
So you interviewing them, eh?
That's correct. Yep, we're trying to find the right person to be next to me. Ferris State, we just have the one paid assistant.
Right.
So it is critically important that not only do we find the right coach, but also the right human with the right heart, because I'm going to be working with this person hand in hand on everything. So very important that we find that as well.
Right. Well, you know what? I got to believe you're going to be successful because our AD, Steve, what the heck's his last name, Brian? Our AD at Ferris.
Brocklebank.
Brocklebank, yeah, thank you. What I know of him, right? But he's put a great group of coaches together for us. He started, he's just retained a lot of the good ones too, but he's brought you on, and who else has he brought on lately?
We've
new
got
hockey coach.
A lot of new people. Yep.
Yeah, he's done a
Brett's
pretty
awesome.
good job.
So just like in roster building, it's talent acquisition, talent retention.
Correct.
And Steve has done that a wonderful job with the staff, right? So talent retention, there's a lot of great coaches up there, incredible coaches.
What separated you from the other applicants, do you think? What did he see in you?
I don't know. I would hope, I would hope my sincerity and my want to be here. Obviously, everybody has a resume. Anybody that's applying and getting into the Final Four or three of any big-time Division II job has a resume that would be impressive. I think my Division II experience and my experience at the highest level Division II, in my 9 years at Fort Lewis, we had 5 national top 25 finishes, 3 inside the top 10, 4 NCAA tournament wins.
And a national, you were a coach of the year too, correct?
Yep, Red Auerbach National Coach of the Year. So
Division II you were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Really?
there's some things that I think would have drawn, but the other candidates, and I don't know who they are,
Right.
I'm sure were excellent as well. So it becomes down to a fit. It becomes down to personality fit, town fit, community fit. I mean, there's all sorts of fits that I'm sure Steve went through, and I'm just blessed and thankful to be the one that gets to do it.
Well,
You're going to love it, isn't he, Brian?
Yeah, and I look at Brett and how you kind of brought him in a day or two after we were on our show. I go into Curries, and you have Brett and his assistant coaches all in there, and and one thing I did my homework, and you preach family and community activism for your players, and I think that's really important. We tried to do the same thing at our sheriff's office with our staff, and we're a family, a team. We look out for one another, hold each other accountable, and that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we'll have something in our program that we talk about as being champions in the 3 C's, which is champions in the classroom, champions in the community, and then champions on the court. And I want everybody that comes and is part of Bulldog basketball to have a championship experience. Does that mean we're going to be raising all the GLIAC trophies? I hope so. But I think you can have a championship experience even without actually winning a trophy. Now, I want to win the trophies. Don't get me wrong on that. Like, I'm not going down that road.
Right.
But I'm just saying the championship experience of how to be a champion and touching different areas just outside of the playing surface.
Ultimately, that's what makes a champion, though, is not being multifaceted, not just good on the court, but being good people, good teammates, and everything. You look at winners, and that's really what winners are.
That's exactly right. So
I've
that's
been
what we'll plan to do.
Small businessman here in town, thinking I'm a big businessman, but I got to tell you, my history with Ferris State athletics has been nothing but great. And as of recently, the tradition carries on with the student athletes up there. They get a bum rap once in a while because 1 out of 150 will raise a little cane in town. But I tell you, Tony and Niece's football players, the ones that come in the gas station, are nothing but just great people. Just great people. And then the basketball program, Andy, a lot of his players would come in. We knew who they were because they were all 6'5", 6'6" or taller. And, I don't get into the game of hockey, and I don't go to enough of them. I did go to one this year. Brian saw me there.
Yeah.
Gave you heck for playing that rap music. Said, get some country on there, Brian. We like country. We can
Well, the different person does the music. I just do the announcing.
Well, you were very nice, though. You switched and played it. You told him to play a Toby Keith song for the old man. And I like that. So did people. But anyway, hockey in town here, the hockey players are a tremendous bunch, too. So I'm very grateful for the whole university as far as student athletes. You're going to like them. I don't think any of them go around town like, look at me. They're very humbled by their achievements. Tony's kept those kids level-headed, and his staff, Ryan Hodges. You've probably met them all or not?
I've had a chance to meet everybody. Yeah. I'm trying to get everybody's name right.
Right.
Sure.
But shaking a lot of hands and a lot of smiles.
Well, the one guy you're going to not probably ever be introduced to is Tesla Smith. He was our defensive line coach up there, along with Brian Hodges on the defensive side. He's one of the nicest humans I've ever met. He really, he went to Central. He went upgrade to a Division I football team over there. Of course, he had to go, but I'm going to miss him as everybody else. But I just bring his name up because that's the kind of coaches Tony's hired too. He got Sharif up there. Now that he's taken his spot, he played for Tony. And so you're going to like this town. You're going to like the town. And you're going to like the Ferris coaches and the other sports too. Like I said, it is what you make of it. And you seem like you're going to try to make it happen, aren't you? I mean, your style of coaching compared to Andy's. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So
what was your question?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
A lot of ways to skin a cat.
Yeah.
When it comes to coaching, but I don't want to maybe not compare and contrast different styles, but I'll tell you what my style is going to be. Offensively, we're going to play fast, but yet be efficient. I want to get the ball up, want to put pressure on the defense, what we call early offense, see if we can get any early offense. But after that, want to share the ball, move the ball, and basically try to puncture what I call the paint area. So like everybody sees the paint, whether it's a post-up or a drive, we want to see how many times we can puncture the defense and get a great shot. That would be the cliff notes offensively. And then defensively, we want to impose our will on the other team. Now, how do you do that? It depends on what your roster looks like and what your abilities are. Don't want to put the boys in a bad spot, but also want to make sure that eventually, as the program evolves, that we're picking up and guarding 94 feet of the court and making it hard for the other team. How I've come to that conclusion defensively, as being an offensive-minded coach, my team's averaged 84 points a game over 9 years, which was third in Division II basketball. The key is what do you hate to play against? And then you try to do that defensively. So I've defensively just kind of evolved from what do I don't like to play against. But you're going to see high energy. We're going to play very hard. That's one thing I can promise. I can't sit here and promise everybody we're going to win this and win that. That'd be foolish. But I can promise without a shadow of a doubt that we're going to play really hard. And that everybody that comes to the game will be proud that they're Fair State fans.
Now, what do you do different than another coach to get that out of them? Because kids today are a little different than they used to be. And let me go a little step further. The next question is, you got 5 guys out there, but you're going to have 12 wanting to play. How do you get those other guys to buy in?
Well, first,
or do you play a lot of them? And go ahead.
So getting to how do you get them to play hard? Well, it's just a standard that that's just how it's going to be.
Right.
It'd be like, how do you get your kids to behave? Well, they just behave because that's how it's going to be.
Okay. You expect that.
Yeah, there'll be accountability on playing hard. I don't believe in a lot of rules. I think you can really pin yourself in a corner when you start having 850 rules. But one rule is you're going to play. You're going to compete to the best of your ability, and not everybody has the same ability, but you can compete. So we'll be competitive. And then as far as a rotation based, I think 8 to 10. Depending on the game, depending on the size, depending on the other team's matchups and stuff like that, without getting it, into the weeds too much on the matchups and stuff like that. But you'll always see 8 and sometimes up to 10. So you need to be able to win a basketball game a lot of different ways. So if you're going to be elite in Division II, You have to be able to win a game style all sorts of different ways, and that's what's made Coach Brockham so successful here. Is after watching and studying a little bit, they were able to win a lot of different ways. They can win the game 90 to 86, or they can get in a slugfest like they did in the national championship game against Northern State and win 71-69 in 2018. So a lot of different ways to do it, but you have to be, your roster has to be equipped to get into any type of fight. And that's what I'll try to do over a long period of time here, is build a program that can win a street fight. We can win a fight in the ocean. We can win a fight anywhere. And that's kind of how we'll do it.
Now, prior to Ferris State, did you like the tall guy to recruit, or did you like the guy that was the quickest guy on the court? Which guy did you prefer?
Yeah, I have a.
What kind of team?
I have a kind of a fetish for the best players I can get.
Right.
So I was at a situation at Fort Lewis. I love the school, love the program, and love the town, but it was remote. So you had to do a lot of out of area recruiting, and sometimes I didn't always get to pick the litter of the top of the grocery chain. So
right.
had to make some meals with what I had. So
how do you do that? Like you say, you got a great record, obviously.
Thank you.
But how do you take a mediocre player and make a great player, or can't you?
I don't know if you can that big of a jump, but what I think you can do is put them in the right spots. You can build up confidence. I can't give a player confidence, but I sure can help try to let them build it up on how they get treated. So I think those two things, and then player development. I think all of that comes into one big pie of what it can be. But like I said earlier, there's a lot of ways to win, a lot of ways to attack winning. But I think the culture of the program really does matter. There's a lot of people, the buzzword culture, but culture does win.
Strict.
I would say firm, but firm with fun.
Yeah.
When you start playing, you're, like Brian's coaching youth baseball right now. So when you start to play a sport, think back to we've all played. Think back, you started to play because it was fun. No one says, "Hey, I'm going to do this," because it's not fun.
Right.
So it's fun. So I want to keep a level of fun, but also understanding that being good is going to cost what it's going to cost, and there's no cheating that. Whether you're playing at Ferris State, you're at Grand Valley State, you're at Lake Superior State. If you really want to be good, it costs what it's going to cost, and with that comes discipline, accountability, and all the things.
And gummies.
Do you try to emulate anybody as a coach?
Have
you over the years?
I don't.
No?
I wouldn't say emulate.
So you're not trying to follow Bobby Knight's footsteps?
No, not like that. No.
I'm just curious.
No, I think
because you looked like you could be you're a bull.
Fiery is what you meant.
I would say this. I just think you got to coach to your personality, because the players will recognize who's real and who's not real. So this is my personality. I have a very grateful heart. I like to think that I'm a good person, try to do the right thing every chance I can. But I also know that as the leader, we gotta keep us in line and keep it going in the right direction. So somewhere you take that and you just stir it up,
right.
and you try to get some success. But
does having three little girls that you love most dearly in the world, has that helped you or changed you in any way of your philosophy on coaching?
Yeah, it absolutely has. So especially when you're a dad of daughters,
right?
You quickly understand when you're speaking to somebody that somebody's Ella or that's somebody's Grace, in my case. So how you communicate with the players. I learned this very early in my head coaching career is I can say something to a player and I can forget it within 5 minutes. But what I say to them, they're going to remember for 24 hours, 48 hours. It'll stick with them. So you got to be careful in what you say, good and bad. So if I come and say, hey, Brian, man, I like that polo today. You look good in that polo. Like, you feel good. You're like, yeah, this polo's good. and that gives you gas. But also, coaches sometimes don't realize that you can subtract gas. If I come in and said something negative, I let it go. I was gone for, it was 2 minutes for me. I'm on to the next. I don't even think about it anymore. But it sticks with the player. So the power of the word as a coach, the voice, there's such power in the voice and the leadership voice. So I'm very cognizant of that and making sure, like, hey, anything that comes out of my mouth has to be truthful, honest, and approached in a way. There's a lot of ways to say something. Said in a way that is constructive and not tear down.
I love your answer, didn't you, Brian?
Yeah, perfect.
I'll let you in, Brian. Heather Miller's husband. Go ahead.
Heather Miller's husband. Well,
I always say introduce Heather as the sheriff's wife, and I'm waiting for somebody to say, no, I'm Brian's spouse, Miller's spouse, but I'm Heather Miller, realtor for Century 21.
Well, won't be long, and that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
The things keep moving the way they are.
Right, yeah.
I'm okay with that, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just
All right, let's
Brian.
take a break at that. Bob, let's thank our sponsor, Big Rapids Tire.
When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout, or worse, visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.
Booked at Curries. Hey, I go to Curries for dinner now, and I want to tell you something. Their sandwiches are incredible. But get the cheeseburger with caramelized onions. You won't ask where the beef is. We are open till 7 p.m.
All right, we're back with co-host here, host, whatever you want to call him, Sheriff Miller. He's with me here in the studio with Bob Aldridge, and now our famous new coach, basketball coach at Ferris State, Bobby Pietrack.
That's Pietrack, but
Pietrack. I'll get it right.
It takes a little while, but when
Bobby, people are going to first look at you and say, we know why Steve picked you, without even saying any words at all to him. You know why?
why is that?
You look like Tony Anise. You could be Tony's brother, doesn't he, Brian?
Yeah.
So when you see Tony Anise on the streets of Big Rapids, you're going to say, no, that's not Tony. That's the basketball coach. No, you resemble him. You guys are both great guys. But anyway, so far the interview is going on real well this morning. Brian, you got any questions? I mean, I flip off one right after another without reading anything, I know, and that's unfair to you.
No, that's good. So 189 wins, 75 losses over your I guess, career. I want to say short, but so you started off at Fort Lewis too in 2016, correct? And were you an assistant there for a time?
I was in 11 years. I was the assistant. Worked my way up from the second assistant all the way up to associate head coach, and then Coach Hoffman, legendary coach, retired, and I took over the reins. So this is not my first time taking over for a legendary head coach.
Right.
So I have some experience in this and understand the shoes. So
how do you? I'm going to stop you for a minute. Follow up on that though. How do you handle that? Is there a lot of pressure on you right now, or no?
I don't think the word would be pressure. I think that you have to embrace it and you have to acknowledge it. In 2015, I took over for one of the winningest coaches in the history of the RMAC. And now here it is, 2025, 10 years later, and I'm taking over for one of the, a top 5 Division II coach in Andy Brockamus. So instead of hiding from it or pretending like it doesn't exist, you just embrace it and say, hey, I'm thankful to take it, and compliment them. And it's not a competition, and it's a continuation. And just like one day, I hope, a long time from now, but I hope one day someone's sitting here saying I'm taking over for Bobby Pietrack, and that's a big shoes to fill, and I'll that person will have the same attitude. I think if you truly come at it with a level of gratefulness and hope, I think that it could be fine. So that's how I did in the past, and it seemed to work.
Right. Yeah. Well, you got good work ethic. That's for sure. You got to have for the record you have and stuff. Again, I appreciate you coming on this morning. What this year is kind of you're going to be rebuilding a little bit because I understand Andy took some of the players, right? So we're going to have some new faces on the court. Have you met those yet, or?
Yeah. So the word rebuilding would be not the correct word.
Okay.
We're going to reload on this thing.
Reload. All right.
And I made a commitment. We had 4 seniors that chose to stay. That was Tyler Hamilton, Kel Bingham, Donnie Brown Boyd, and Brandon Clairbout. That they chose to stay. They weren't going to go with Coach Brockema, but they chose to stay at Ferris State, and I promised them that I would field the team around them to give them a best chance to win as seniors, because I did respect the fact that their care for the program and the school. So there will be no rebuilding. We'll reload. Will it take some time? Maybe naturally. Certainly
Maybe not too, huh?
Maybe not. So I'm certainly not closed-minded, or I'm open-minded to anything that can take place. But my goal in year 1 is, of course, I want to win. Would like to win every game. Is that realistic? Of course not. But my goal is that for everybody in Big Rapids, everybody that comes to a game at Ferris State, and just the fans of the basketball program say, hey, we're on the right track right now. And that can't be done with lip service. It has to be done by people coming and saying, hey, we got the right guy, we have the right vision, we're getting the right players, and we're going to continue to be at the top of Division II.
You got some transfers, you said, eh? How does that work late in the? Well, it's not late in the year, though, is it? This is when everybody does it.
It was a little late. So my first day was May 19th. And I would say we were late to the party, but dinner wasn't over at the party. So I was able to jump in there and get some food, get a place at the table, and get some players quickly. But what I had to do was be decisive, go with my gut, make quick decisions, because with coaches sometimes in the recruiting process, not that we like to drag it out, but we like to turn over every rock and be like, oh, I feel really, really, really strong about this decision. When really, it was your gut decision and your gut feel a month ago that was the same thing you got to. So all I did was, I call it speed dating. We just did a little bit more speed dating in this situation. Trusted my gut, trusted my eyes, and trusted my experience to pick pick players that could come in here and impact winning from day one.
So where are they coming from? Do you mind saying?
Yeah, we're coming from all over. We got we got Joey Cabana signed. He played at Davenport last year, averaged 10 points a game. Chelsea, Michigan.
He's a good town.
Yep. Chang Hoff, transfer from Oakland. Didn't play at Oakland last year, tore his ACL, but was a junior college All-American before that. Minnesota. Got 2 foreign players, which is something different for Ferris.
Yeah.
Both played junior college basketball in the States last year. Hussein Alamagari from Egypt, and Justin Ozzie. It's an Australian Aussie.
Speak well.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Well, how tall are they?
Well, we got a 6'8" and 6'6", and those
good
two
for
guys.
you.
So one of the things about getting the job a little bit later, the size was depleted. Naturally, right? Size has a premium. It's like baseball. Pitching has a premium. Quarterback football premium. So we had to get creative and try to find size that could play.
How do you do that, though? I mean, I don't know how many Division II schools there is, but there's a lot of them. And then how do you entice them to come to Big Rapids, Michigan, which they've never been to Michigan like yourself?
Yep.
And we don't have a lot of money to dish out to them. So did you get them here just because of our program?
Or does your reputation precede you a lot of times?
I think it's a marriage of both. So you're dealing with a great Division II institution in Ferris State, great facilities, great athletic tradition. You're marrying that with a very successful Division II coach. So I wouldn't have been the right fit. Let's say, there was a great NAI job or a great Division III job or a high-level Division I assistant. I might not have been the right fit for those because of my experience, but I am the right fit for this job. So you marry all those factors together. You get creative with your recruiting. We had most of them were able to make campus visits because they were within flight distance. We were able to get them in quick and see it. And then I asked them in return, like, hey, I'm making gut decisions here because we got to do it, and I need you to make a decision in a timely manner. And they were able to do it. But a lot of it has to do with the quality of Ferris State.
Wow, that's pretty good. I mean, that's why I was wondering how you're coming in this time of year and everything, and everybody's already committed to most places. So you're pretty excited about your team coming forward then, eh? I'm
excited about the team, but most of all, I'm excited to start building. Right? So, yes, is next year the 25-26 basketball season? Yeah, of course it is, if you look at the schedule. But I look at it as we're at the ground level of what we want to build now.
Nowhere but up.
Nowhere but up. And I think the expectations, I don't know what the expectations will be, around campus or the town or in the GLIAC. Like, again, it's a complete facelift for Ferris State basketball. So my job is to keep the boat sailing and then really try to add to it as we get further and further out and build on my tenure here.
I don't think a lot of people in Big Rapids realize how fortunate we are to have the status that we have in the United States in sports. I go to Canada to race my horses. I'm up in Toronto at a racetrack up there. It's called Mohawk. It's in Guelph, Ontario. Guy walks up to me, goes, "Boy, you guys got a pretty good hockey team up there, don't you?" And another guy standing next to me says, "Well, they even got a better football team. They won the championship, all these years, blah, blah, blah." So, I mean, you don't talk about how great that guy was that invented the wheel. They talk about athletics.
Yep.
So when this was proposed to you, you already knew about Ferris out there, didn't you? You said that.
Of course. No, Ferris has a national brand, Division II. So if you're a Division II guy, which I am, you definitely know Ferris State. Now, what I didn't know, because I was a complete outsider, is what great support it has from Dr. Pink, the president, to Steve Brocklebank, the AD, and then it bleeds down to all the coaches. And most of the time, the proof is in the pudding. It's not one program, it's not one coach, it's not one great set of players. If you look at the total athletic department and as a whole, there's a lot of people succeeding. And anytime a program has success, not only is there great players, great coaches, but then there's great support staff. And it takes a village to be really good. So
you're going to like our coaches up. Have you met Tia yet?
I have. Yep.
She's
Kurt.
Wonderful.
Yep, I met everybody. They're excellent.
And you're probably working a lot with Kurt, being the women and the men's. I mean, because of the schedule, the way it works. And
strength coach, you met him?
Yep, met everybody. Colton.
Colton.
It's a first-class operation.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why coaches have stayed. There's a reason why Tia stayed. There's a reason why Coach Denise stayed. There's a reason why Andy Brockman was here 12 years. There's a reason why Kurt's been here now. I think next year's his 7th after a lot of success. It's a great place to be, and I'm just blessed and thankful to do it.
And if you look, outside of a couple of the coaches, a lot of the younger, newer coaches all have younger children, right?
Right.
Yep.
And so, again, you look back at the community itself. I'm sure you did your homework a little bit and said, okay, what am I getting myself into? Where am I taking my girls? Is this going to be somewhere quality for them too, not just for me and my career? And I think, that's what I think is a good big sales point for people when it comes to looking to coming to Ferris State.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we did it all, not every job would have lined up, obviously, but all the boxes were starting to get checked. And just like I said, just really grateful for the opportunity. I would like to say this for people that are listening, and we talked a little bit about just taking over for success. Is change is scary for everybody, right?
Right.
And new is scary. It's natural, and there's a thing called fear of the unknown. So when things change, people have fear of the unknown, including me. I'm the same. There's fear of the unknown, but I really feel if people have an open heart there's change coming, whether that was me or somebody else, there was going to be a new coach for the Bulldog basketball program.
Right.
So I ask the people that are real fans and in the community to just have an open heart to me and see. I think over time, and it can't be over in 1 day or 2 days or one game, but give me time to grow on you, and I think I can do that. And I promise to bring good people in.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of good people out there supporting you. You have the Bloomquist, the Bayshaws, Stan and his wife Jean, and Valet, and just Shane. There's just a lot of good people. I go to the games once in a while because I've always had a good relationship with Andy and tried to support him over the years. And I go way back with Jim Wink when my dad and him were good friends. And so the Curries have a lot of history with the programs up there. Tom Ludwig was one of my best friends back in the day. Like I said earlier on in the program, get involved with the community, and the community will support you. Andy did that. Andy got involved with the community, and the community showed up at his games. And I think Andy had a lot of pride in that, didn't he, Brian?
Oh, yeah.
The people that backed him and stuff. Because, that
We
guy...
appreciated it.
Yeah, I remember he starts from humbling beginnings. I mean, he was on a state championship basketball team. I think his dad coached him in McBain there.
Which is a powerhouse.
Yeah, and then he came down here to work at and teach at the charter school. So he has a storied life that should be a book someday, because I guess what I'm trying to say is he started with nothing and he's ended up with something because of his work ethic and his knowledge of the game. I'm sure you're the same story here, with your life, because nobody gave it to you, right?
And I was a Division II walk-on that was just thankful to get a practice jersey in 1999, and now I'm sitting here as the head basketball coach at Ferris State. So,
yeah.
But no matter what field you're in, what line of work you're in, if you do work hard, you treat people the right way, you be sincere and honest with people and genuine, it's amazing how far you can go.
Only in America. Isn't it true, though?
It's 100% true.
Yeah, you got to believe in yourself and have people believe in you, and you will be successful, and you got to make good relationships. Bob, the song we're going to play at the end for today, if it's okay with you guys, is I Was Born in a Small Town. Who sings
John
that?
Mellencamp.
Is that who sings that?
John Cougar or John Mellencamp.
right.
Look it up, Bob. Don't you like that song?
I love that song, actually.
Yeah, and
You
this
know
is
it
Big
well.
Rapids. I was born in a small town, and if people would listen to the words, that's Big Rapids.
Yeah.
It really is. We've had our growth spurts, and I know a lot of people want to see us grow bigger, and we won't go there, but we can control our own destiny, and that's what Big Rapids has done. We've succeeded. Anybody that's want to stay here in Big Rapids has found a job to stay here. A lot of people don't want to stay here. They want to, spread their wings and go to the bigger city, and that's okay too. But, Brian's a perfect story of that. He goes to Ferris State. Next thing you know, 25 years later,
30
years later,
35,
you're the sheriff from Acosta County. And some people say, if you look at small towns, you usually have to be a townie to be voted into anything. Well, Brian and Heather got involved with the community, made relationships with people, not to be popular, but because they loved Big Rapids. Both of them did, and she wasn't from here either.
She's from Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
Forest Hills Northern.
Yeah, so and he's from Jackson, Michigan, which is down in the middle lower state. And that's a compliment to Big Rapids, to have people at this status stay in Big Rapids.
And I use this story, and I think I've said it here before.
Yeah.
I went to college here at Ferris, and back when I was in college, everyone's like, I can't wait to get the heck out of this town. Man, this town's so boring, this and that. And then after I got hired at the city of Big Rapids, I'd be working Ferris homecoming games. This is 2 or 3 years after the fact, and I'd run into people that I went to college with, and they're like, man, I miss it here. I'd really like to come back, and I think that kind of says it all.
Yeah, we're trying to sell you Big Rapids, and Steve's
here.
already sold it. You're here. I want to congratulate you on your big move here into Big Rapids. And
Thank you.
Going to be love making a relationship with you, and come on over to the Hooked at Curries in the morning sometime. We got a table between 8 and 16 guys that come in every morning and chat. They love athletics. Obviously, we got Bill Shively there. He's an alumni of Ferris State. He played football here years ago. I don't think we have any basketball players that come in early in the morning. But, you're more than welcome to Big Rapids.
You.
So,
and if you're listening and if you see me in town, come up and say hi to me. Connect with me. I want to hear your stories. I want to know it. I want to get to know everybody and just try to blend myself in as quickly as possible. So.
Well, we'll get a picture of you, Brian, and I right after the show here, which I have to leave now. And we'll get a picture of us, and we'll put it on Facebook.
Are you golfing with Greg?
Yeah, Greg Beaudry and Scott Wilcox and Dan Hicks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll cheat enough to win the Lions Club Open today. Well, God bless America. Anything else? And maybe we'll have you back on.
Yeah, we'd love. Yeah, actually, I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
have you and a player come on, or your assistant, your new assistant that you're going to hire.
Yeah.
I think we try to keep in touch with those that we've had on. We've had people on multiple times, and I think it's important. Just the relationship.
Absolutely. And hopefully we can get on after some big wins.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we're
That's
talking.
what-
Now
yes.
we're talking.
Well, we want to thank Bob and Dom and Jen for 103.9 this morning. The new 103.9 that's been here for 45 years.
Yeah.
God bless America, Bob. Play that song.
When was the last time you checked your tires? At Big Rapids Tire, they know how important it is to keep your ride smooth, safe, and reliable. Whether you're cruising down the highway or navigating tough weather, a fresh set of tires ensures you're ready for anything. Their expert team will help you find the perfect tires for your car and get you back on the road with confidence. Brakes, alignments, struts, and shocks, they do those as well. Don't wait for a blowout or worse. Visit Big Rapids Tire for unbeatable prices, quality, and peace of mind. Big Rapids Tire, Northland Drive, just north of town.